Welcome to Golden Bachelor. If you love celebrity news and real entertainment updates, you're in the right place. Bachelor Nation is buzzing after Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple noticeably stepped back from the spotlight, leaving fans wondering what's really going on behind the scenes. While neither has confirmed a breakup, subtle changes have fueled curiosity. Fewer joint appearances, quieter social media activity, and a shift in how they talk about their future. Sources close to the pair suggest that the decision may not be about drama, but timing. Both Joan and Chock are said to be focusing on personal priorities, careers, and family commitments that require space and reflection. Those close to them insist there's still respect and care, even if things look different right now. Fans who followed their journey from the beginning are holding on to hope, noting that Bachelor Nation couples often take time away from the public eye to protect what matters most. Stepping back doesn't always mean walking away. It can sometimes mean resetting expectations and redefining boundaries. For now, Joan and Chock are choosing privacy over pressure, leaving their future open-ended. Whether this is a temporary pause or a quiet new chapter, one thing is clear. Their story has left a lasting impression, and Bachelor Nation will be watching closely for what comes next. As the days pass, the silence surrounding Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple only seems to grow louder. Fans have begun revisiting old interviews and moments from their journey, searching for clues they may have missed. Small pauses, careful wording, or conversations that now feel different in hindsight. Those familiar with the situation say the pair shared long, honest discussions before stepping back, choosing clarity over confusion. Rather than forcing a picture-perfect image, they reportedly agreed to give each other room to breathe, hoping distance might offer perspective instead of pressure. Bachelor Nation insiders point out that relationships formed in the spotlight often face challenges once real life takes over. Without cameras, schedules change, expectations shift, and emotions deepen in unexpected ways. Joan and Chock, known for their maturity, are believed to be handling this moment with grace rather than impulsive decisions. Support continues to pour in from fans who admire their honesty and strength. Many believe this chapter, however uncertain, shows growth, not failure. Whether their paths realign or move in new directions, their connection remains meaningful to those who followed their journey. For now, the story isn't about an ending, but about a pause. And in Bachelor Nation, pauses have a way of leading to surprising new beginnings. Behind the scenes, Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple are said to be taking this time seriously, not treating it as a dramatic split, but as a moment to reflect. Friends describe the atmosphere as thoughtful rather than tense, with both wanting to protect what they shared instead of rushing toward a final decision. Fans have also noticed that when asked about love and the future, both Joan and Chock now speak in careful, measured tones. There are no harsh words, no public blame, just quiet acknowledgement that relationships can evolve once the fairy tale phase fades. Some Bachelor Nation alumni have weighed in subtly, reminding viewers that stepping away from the spotlight can be an act of self-respect. Not every love story needs a loud ending. Sometimes the most meaningful chapters are written in silence. As speculation continues, many believe this chapter could still turn in unexpected ways. A reunion, a redefined partnership, or a respectful parting, all remain possible. Until either Joan or Chock chooses to speak openly, their story remains unfinished. In Bachelor Nation, unfinished stories have a way of pulling fans back in, and this one is far from forgotten. Time has given Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple space, but it has also given fans room to reflect on why their connection resonated so deeply. From the beginning, their bond stood out as thoughtful and genuine, built on shared values rather than grand gestures alone. Now, that same maturity appears to guide how they're handling this uncertain moment.
Instead of feeding rumors, both seem committed to handling things privately, away from public expectations. Those close to them say this approach reflects respect for each other and for what they built together. Meanwhile, conversations within Bachelor Nation have shifted from shock to understanding. Many longtime viewers admit that real relationships don't always follow a neat timeline, especially after a whirlwind experience. Growth sometimes requires stepping back, even when feelings remain. Whether this pause leads to clarity or closure, one thing is certain: Joan and Chock's journey has already made an impact. Their story has reminded fans that love isn't always about perfect endings. It's about honesty, patience, and choosing what feels right. And until the next chapter reveals itself, Bachelor Nation continues to wait, hopeful but realistic, knowing that some love stories unfold quietly, just out of view. As weeks go by, the absence of clear answers has only deepened the conversation around Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple. Fans aren't just asking what happened, they're asking why this relationship mattered so much in the first place. For many, it represented a more grounded, realistic kind of romance. Sources suggest that both Joan and Chock are using this time to reconnect with themselves, leaning on close friends and family rather than public opinion. There's a sense that whatever decision comes next will be made with care, not impulse, and with long-term peace in mind. Interestingly, their quiet approach has earned widespread respect across Bachelor Nation. Instead of fueling speculation, it's encouraged reflection, reminding viewers that love doesn't always end in conflict. Sometimes it simply changes shape.
Whether the future holds a renewed commitment or a gentle farewell, their story continues to resonate because it feels real. No dramatic announcements, no rushed conclusions, just two people navigating a complex moment with intention. And until the silence breaks, Bachelor Nation remains attentive, understanding that some of the most meaningful chapters aren't shouted, they're lived quietly, one decision at a time. Lately, the focus around Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple has shifted from uncertainty to acceptance. Fans who once demanded answers are now giving the couple space, recognizing that not every chapter needs to be explained in real time. Those familiar with Joan and Chock say both are taking this period as an opportunity for clarity rather than closure. There's no rush to label what they're experiencing, just an understanding that meaningful connections deserve time, even when the future feels unclear. Bachelor Nation viewers have also begun to see this moment as a reminder that love after reality TV follows its own rules. Away from cameras and expectations, relationships must adapt to everyday life, where patience matters more than headlines. Whatever comes next, whether paths reconnect or quietly diverge, Joan and Chock's journey continues to reflect authenticity. Their choice to move carefully has turned this pause into something deeper than speculation. And for now, that's where the story rests, not at an ending, but at a crossroads where honesty leads the way and time writes the next chapter. As the conversation continues, many fans are beginning to see this chapter in a new light. Rather than viewing it as a loss, some are calling it a moment of growth for both Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple individually and for their connection as a whole. People close to the pair say there's still open communication, even if things aren't defined. That ongoing respect has kept hope alive among supporters who believe that strong foundations don't disappear overnight. Within Bachelor Nation, their story has sparked wider discussions about how love evolves after the cameras stop rolling. Real life brings different pressures, and navigating them takes patience, honesty, and courage, qualities both Joan and Chock have shown throughout their journey. Whether the future holds a renewed commitment or a gentle farewell, one truth remains. This pause has allowed both to listen to themselves without outside noise. And sometimes that quiet is exactly what leads to the clearest answers.
Until then, fans remain watchful but understanding, knowing that some stories don't rush toward an ending. They unfold when the time is right. With each passing moment, it's becoming clearer that Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple are choosing intention over impulse. Instead of reacting to speculation, they appear focused on preserving mutual respect and emotional balance, something fans rarely see played out so quietly in the public eye. Those who know them say there's been no dramatic turning point, just a series of thoughtful realizations. Life after the show has brought new routines, responsibilities, and reflections that naturally invite re-evaluation of priorities. Bachelor Nation supporters are now sharing a different kind of reaction, not heartbreak, but appreciation. Appreciation for a relationship that modeled honesty, maturity, and the courage to pause when certainty fades. Whether this chapter leads to renewed commitment or a gentle, dignified close, the way Joan and Chock are handling it continues to define their story, not by headlines, but by how they choose respect over noise. And until they decide to speak for themselves, this chapter remains a quiet one, unfinished, thoughtful, and still meaningful in the hearts of those who followed their journey. In the end, Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple's story isn't defined by rumors or unanswered questions. It's defined by how they chose to handle uncertainty. With care, dignity, and respect, they stepped back not to erase what they shared, but to honor it. Sometimes love doesn't end with a clear goodbye or a dramatic reveal. Sometimes it simply teaches, reshapes, and quietly moves people forward. For Joan and Chock, this chapter became less about labels and more about listening, to themselves and to each other. Bachelor Nation may never know every detail, and that's okay. What remains is a story that felt real, grounded, and human, one that reminded fans that even in the spotlight, some moments deserve privacy. Whether their paths cross again or continue separately, their journey leaves behind something meaningful, proof that love can be gentle even when it's uncertain. And with that, this chapter closes, not with heartbreak, but with grace. Thanks for watching Golden Bachelor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big story.